What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Stoic Context. Today we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to save my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that.
I don't want to be on YouTube.
Okay, what is the disagreement?
So some of the things that I've heard you say about keeping a husband, I'm a little bit confused about them because in my regular life, and of course I've never dated a high value man, which we know you said that most women can't really get that. So I'm talking about regular guys here. You said that we can't keep men because we are combative and we're aggressive. And in my experience, I think more aggressive women I've seen honestly keep men more.
Ma'am, how are we defining keep?
When I say keep, as in they're the ones that are being kept by the man. You're in the house.
How are we defining keep? We keep score over here by weddings.
Okay.
Marriages, wedding rings.
Well, one woman I know is married. The other two.
One woman.
Well, I'm talking about the examples that I'm talking about, not all.
Okay. Okay.
This person who is someone who I looked up to because she was married young. She did it the right way, and I did not. So I looked up to her.
So what you're saying is, hey, Kevin, what you and the other hundreds of thousands of men are saying, they want women who are cooperative, not combative. But what I'm seeing in my anecdotal world is one woman who is combative is married.
No.
Okay, that's what I just heard. What's wrong with what I just said?
Okay, well, what I'm trying to say, this person isn't combative necessarily, but what I've seen with women who have men, they're kind of.
I said, man, you said that women are kept, and I said, how are we defining keep? You said kept. I said we define by weddings, marriages. That's how we define over here. Because you did start off saying marriages, ma'am. So you cannot go between dating and marriages. How are we keeping score?
Well, you can keep score by marriage if you'd like.
That's the only way we keep score. That's the only thing you can see. So you're saying that men would marry women who are combative?
Not necessarily combative, but they just have other qualities that I feel like I just don't understand how. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. There's women that I look up to that are married, and I'll ask them certain questions about keeping a man, and they're kind of aggressive. They're not, some of them aren't house women. They're not cooking and cleaning. They're just, but they will fight you about their man, or they will, yell at you.
Okay.
They're married.
Due respect, I don't really understand what point you're trying to make. You ask these women about what?
About, being in a relationship. How do you get a man to stay with you?
What did you ask? What happened when you asked your mother?
My mother is not married.
Okay. All right. So the women you ask, and this one woman that you're talking about is married, yes or no?
Yes.
And you asked her, what do you do to keep your marriage going?
Yes.
And what did she say?
I don't know. First, she just said it's love. They got married young. It was like a high school sweetheart kind of thing. And I don't know, to be partners in a partnership and all that stuff. But I feel like that's disingenuous. But what I've seen is different than what I'm being shown, what I'm being told. What I see
What
is
did she say?
That they loved each other. That's why they're married. Just make sure that you love him, you be there for him.
See, this is what I need. Okay, and this is what do the men say they want?
The men said that they want a woman who's there for them, who's good.
Then why don't you do what the men French toast ass say instead of what you think you see and what one woman told you? Why don't you listen to the buyers instead of the sellers?
I do. But
okay.
Buying are
excuse me?
Contradicting what they're telling me.
Excuse me? The people who are what? The people who are buying? I want to be clear what you said.
the men in the situation, they're telling me one thing, but the women that they are keeping, the women they are with,
Ma'am, the men, are you talking about you talk to their husbands?
no,
Okay, don't get frustrated with me because you can't be clear about what you're asking.
I'm
The
not
chat
frustrated.
room's confused too, so I'm sorry. I can only go on what you tell me. What is the question you ultimately have? How about that?
My question that I have is why, when I listen to you and you say
What is the question you ultimately have? Don't give me the background. What is the question? What is the confusion? What is the issue?
the issue that I have is that I just don't believe that I think men are kept by their women, and I think that you're
Then then
sometimes
then fine. How, then do that and die alone. I don't care what you think.
well, I
No
just
one cares what you think at
I'm not
25. I want you to understand what the men keep asking for. That's the mother freaking problem. You think you know better than us.
no, I don't. I'm asking you. I don't think
You
I know better. I'm
okay?
confused.
You say the men are kept by their women, meaning what?
I will okay. The men are kept by their women, as in these women are more aggressive than me. You know what I mean? They're
Are they, ma'am? These women you talked to. Okay,
I'm clearly speaking on my life and my life experiences.
ma'am, you talked about one woman that's married.
Okay.
And you keep saying these women. I only care about the married women.
Okay.
How many? Do you know many married women?
No.
Then what do you see any problem with that?
That is a problem. I do
Do
have a
you see
problem.
any problem with that though? You're judging you're trying to judge the market and men based upon women who are not married and what they say and what you think you see. But the one thing is, I said we judge on marriages. I don't care what women in the streets are saying. Do
It's
you
not,
want to be married?
yes, I do.
Why?
I just think that's the right thing to do. Women should be married.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
That's just what I'm being told is the right thing to do.
Okay, well, jump off a bridge.
Okay.
That's the right thing to do too. If you want to die, jump off a bridge.
Well, I don't want to die. I want to live.
Okay, then your want matters. So don't just tell me you why
I
do
want
you want to
to
get
live
married?
so that I can create a stable foundation for my
For
children,
whom?
future
For
generations,
whom?
for my children, and for
Right.
future.
What's your marriage? What is your they did it right marriage model?
Um, I don't have a lot of examples of that.
What is your they did it right marriage model?
They did it right. You get married, you have children.
Where no, what is your that couple did it right marriage model? What public couple is they did it right? Your public
Um,
couple, they did it right.
um, as in celebrities, I honestly don't.
I don't care if they're celebrities, I say public. Because I don't know your grandparents or anybody else. So I need to know. See, what I'm showing is you put a lot of faith, you put a lot of stock in your little anecdotal world.
I don't want to do that.
But I need you to listen.
Okay.
You put a lot of stock in your anecdotal world. My world is much bigger than yours, and it's loaded with men saying what the hell they want. You don't have a they did it right marriage model. I ask you why you want to be married, and you don't have a why, other than it's just the right thing to do.
That's what you guys tell
But
me.
I need you to be okay. Have you ever had a relationship?
Not really.
Thank you. Your problem is not relationships. Your problem, you're socially awkward because you can't even have a conversation that's not annoying.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. I know I have a problem. That's why I'm
Well,
being
well,
nice.
that's good. You know that, but your problem is not men and what men are saying. Your problem is even right here. I don't want to talk to you anymore, and I'm patient.
Well, I'm not socially awkward. I'm in this conversation, it's a little heated because I'm trying to get my point across and I'm not doing it very well. So I'm a
Well,
little,
that's not my problem now, is it?
no, it's not.
Well, whatever the issue is, ma'am, it's on your side.
Okay.
And you say you're not socially awkward. You're 25 years old and haven't had a relationship?
Not a long-term relationship.
Then
No.
that kind of leads towards socially awkward, ma'am, whether you like the word or not. If you were a man, are you a virgin?
No.
What's the longest relationship you ever had?
About 5 months or so.
When was the last time you were actually intimate with somebody? No one can see you.
Um, Probably about 3 months ago.
All right, ma'am. 5 month relationship at 25 years old, that leans towards socially awkward.
Okay.
So before you start worrying about men, you need to kind of get a grasp of what it is, um, your
I was going to do
EQ.
that, but
All right.
you said that we shouldn't do that, that you shouldn't try to
You're
find.
not. But you're, okay. First off, don't say that I said you shouldn't. I don't know you. You have never booked a session with me, so don't make me responsible for what you think you hear in a podcast.
Okay.
That's bullshit.
To follow good advice. And you said that a lot of women feel like,
Ma'am, I don't know you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, based on the conversation I've already had, you hear what you want to hear. Go back and listen to this. I listen very well. So I can't be responsible for what you think you heard.
okay. So you,
Hey, how are you? I'm well. How old are you? All right, what do you got for me?
I just wanted to comment on I wanted to comment on Drake and Kanye clearly since that is the title of the live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't agree with, of course, the way the woman went about trying to get pregnant. That's absolutely ridiculous
Okay.
and quite disgusting. Um, but I
But
also don't feel that that was necessary for Drake to do. I understand that he probably wanted to make a point to women to stop doing that to him because I'm very sure it happens to him often.
mm-hmm.
But I think that flushing said condom would have been disappointment enough for her. And then as far as Kanye goes, um, again, I'm only 25, but I have been a fan of him since I was a very small. And I've watched him change and everything. And I just
Mm-hmm.
feel that personally, I feel that he is a Black man that people label as mentally ill
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature. I don't agree with a lot of the things that Kim Kardashian does and says, but of course, society labels him as a mentally ill Black man when I just feel that he is a Black man who just wants to be there for his children and also is under a lot of pressure from, said entities in Hollywood.
Well, let me ask you now. I'm curious when you guys say that you don't agree with what the woman did, but Drake shouldn't have did that.
Yeah, they're both wrong.
No,
I think that it's
they're really
okay.
not. They're really not. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't think Drake is wrong. Um, like I said when I was over on the Lead Attorney show, many guys have been told stuff like that acts as a spermicide. Whether people believe it or not, I've heard this my entire life.
Yeah.
So we keep what value does it say they're both wrong when Drake was obviously trying to protect himself? We never punish women for any bad they do. Let's change the subject. Women can knowingly file false charges. I'm going to show a video of a 70 some odd year old man that got injured, had a stroke, all other kind of stuff, went in the hospital, all because the police came over and a woman was in tears and blamed the man. You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. We're at the point to where women don't have. It's like, what protections do men have these days? Go ahead.
Well, in pertaining to that, like I said, I just feel like they were both wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong in both parties taking responsibility. I've been doing a lot of um, soul searching and all of that, being that I just turned 25. Like, I felt like my whole life changed. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and instead of blaming men, because at the end of the day, yeah, they do bad things, but something within me attracts that. So at the end of the day, the only person I can fix is me.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I've been doing. But as far as that whole blame game goes, specifically for Black people, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
both of our faults. I think it's both of our faults. After you take away all of the outside factors, the history, the slavery, the white supremacy, and all this other stuff that has affected us as a society, and
Hold,
just
hold on, hold
focus
on,
on
hold
what.
on, hold on just a second. Hold on just a
Mhm.
second. I want everybody to see this because we're still not getting to the point to where we are blaming women for what they do. We're
It's both
still
of
not.
us.
Oh,
I feel
well,
that
it's not.
both of
But hold
us.
on, hold on.
It's a disturbing moment that has left an elderly man fighting for his life. It started with a squabble between neighbors at an apartment building. A woman claimed that her neighbor next door punched her after she complained about noise. Body cam video just released shows police knocking on the neighbor's door. 75-year-old Michael Clark answers wearing just his boxers. Police react quickly after seeing he's got a menacing sawtooth sword. You can see Clark placing the sword on a bookshelf. Then an officer tases Clark, sending him reeling to the floor. Clark is out cold as the officers drag him into the hallway. He's placed in handcuffs. Then, a stunning moment. You can see one cop entering Clark's apartment and grabbing the sword. Then, he drops it near the victim. You can hear it hit the floor. Was he planting evidence? The officer then appears to take a photograph of the scene with his cell phone. Sarah Shelke is the victim's attorney.
You guys hear? Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? I don't know if she hung up yet. Did unmute yourself? Did you guys hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Okay, there we are. I don't know why it's not letting me unmute myself at
74
times.
year old man. That woman was drunk, high, had a arrest record an arm's length long, and she said that I called over here because uh, I I banged on the door. I
Yes,
mean,
I did hear that.
but the thing is, she
And I did
lied.
see it.
But hold on. No. Before she completely lied, she said that she was abused. She cried. She shed crocodile tears, and the cops were sitting there consoling this woman. This that I hear you, such and so forth. These look. This woman didn't serve a minute in jail. This man had a stroke
Mm,
and still has problems to this day. And they have this, and the cop is getting off with nothing. My point
mhm.
is, women can say anything. So when you say they're both wrong, no, it wouldn't have been wrong if she hadn't done wrong first.
Absolutely. Now,
Go ahead.
for that situation, those were, and again, I can only speak from a Black woman's perspective. I feel that white women do that often. The whole he hit me, he raped me. So I can't really speak on that situation. But
We're
for
talking about lying on men.
yes, back to that.
The
So when
black
it
women
comes
lie on
to
men too.
yes, absolutely. So when it comes to that, that's why I said we both need to take accountability.
See,
Men need to take
my
accountability
problem
for
is
like
you keep
their
saying
bullshit.
you keep saying we both. No,
Women
we no women need to take
need to take
accountability, and
accountability.
women need to be held
Absolutely.
accountable, legally accountable, legal
Absolutely.
consequence.
And
Because
that's where I'm at in my life. I have been held legally accountable recently for some of my actions. And that's why I was saying I did a lot of self-reflecting, and I started to realize at the end of the day, did these men do bad things to me? Yeah, they did. But still, I am wrong in what I did.
Yeah,
So
but here's
that
the
is where the
problem. But here's the
accountability
thing.
part
Here's
comes
my
in.
issue though. Until I press the issue, you didn't back up, and you're still saying we both. I don't
Yes.
believe that you mean we both. I don't believe that you. I don't believe you changed your opinion. I think you're just trying to move the conversation along.
No, no, no. I didn't change my opinion. I think that it's still both of us. I think men are wrong in their own ways, and then women are wrong in
But
our own ways. And until like,
this is no. This is a chicken. See,
mhm.
this is what we women do today. This we're both wrong. No, it's chicken or egg, ma'am. Where have you seen a woman who lies on a man ever go to jail, get punished for it?
Me, me
Okay, ma'am,
recently,
you one
me.
person. Let's just judge you as one person.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
So I'm
all right.
speaking from my own experience. I
Okay,
can't speak
all
to
right.
others.
Well, okay. You here's the thing, ma'am. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm honestly not. But I don't
Absolutely.
want to do this. You got your story to tell. It's not about just your story.
Yeah, it's not. And it's not. And a
125,
lot of black women do lie on black men.
125-year-old story doesn't even make a drop in a bucket compared to what men are dealing with. Just because you were held
Absolutely.
accountable, my problem is, even with you being held accountable, as you say, right? Right?
Hmm.
You're still saying we both, as if the scales are balanced.
They're not balanced. We're wrong
So
in different
until we
ways.
start reaching balance, there's no we. There's only you guys. That's my position. Tell
Yes,
me how
there
we
is.
reach
There's.
balance if we keep saying men and women, if it's overwhelmingly in women's favor. How do we get balance?
I don't believe that there should ever be a 50-50 balance because men are men and women are women. I
What does
don't
that
think that
mean
we are,
legally? What does that mean under the eyes of the law?
as of now, under the eyes of the law, when it comes to men versus women, again, I can only speak from my own experience. I have not experienced that oh, she's a woman, we're gonna take her side bullshit. I have not experienced
It
that.
doesn't matter if you've, ma'am, no disrespect. Take it out of you,
Yeah.
please. You keep making
Okay.
it personal. I don't care about necessarily you. And you say under the eyes of the law, are we treated? How do we get balance? And to me, it sounds what I'm hearing from.
I don't think black men are treated fairly under the eyes of the law
So
because I
how do
have
we
black
get men,
brothers.
men? Period. So if we don't start, okay. I asked the
Mhm.
initial question.
Yes.
Do you first off, do you believe that there should be balance in the law between men and women?
Yes, I do.
So, okay, then how do we get balance if it's incredibly unbalanced right now, always has been, and if we still continue to say we both share? That means for every time you put a rock on a man's side, you'll put a rock on a woman's side. It
Mhm.
won't move. Only when
I
you put
think
a
that the
rock
way
on
to
a
get
woman's side
balance,
and put a feather on a nothing on a man's side or a feather, will it start to balance itself out?
I think the way to get balance, like let's take the Drake situation for example. If he knew or if he had a feeling that for whatever reason this woman that he chose to deal with was going to do that to him, he should have maybe instead of used hot sauce, maybe put a camera in place. That way you can have proof that this woman is illegally taking your bodily
Oh, and
fluids.
then let me say, here's the problem with that. Then if she got
Yeah.
pregnant, you'd have to prove that there was that. How does he prove in a court of law that it was that time got pregnant?
Well, as a smart man, I don't think he would wait until she completely did the turkey baster thing, but just
Oh,
to prove
so in
that
other
she is
words, he needs to put a
currently
camera in and then watch her like a hawk.
taking it out and then boom, you're caught. And that
Ma'am,
right
I want you to
there,
understand how. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, man, but
hmm
that sounds absolutely zip damn crazy.
and so does
That
the hot sauce.
excuse me. No. What's crazy is you women are out of fucking control.
And what's crazy, yeah, that is
Excuse me.
crazy that
No,
she's the
don't cut
one
me
to
off.
do
Don't
that.
cut me
That
off.
is
I don't play
right.
that. It's not, look,
I'm agreeing with you. I was saying
but
that
I
was
don't care. You can
crazy.
agree, man, but you don't. That it's not okay. What's
Yeah.
crazy is we're sitting here saying how he should have protected himself better. We keep telling men you need to do something else to defend yourself against women versus judging women harshly. So what you're saying is, instead of using the hot sauce, here's what you do, Drake. You put up cameras everywhere, and then you watch them. So when she goes to the bathroom, and if she retrieves the condom, then you can go in there bust. What if it's too late? What if he went to sleep? Does that make, I mean, logical? Does that make actual practical sense to you that that would be a more viable solution?
Me personally, I do think so. Because if you have that gut feeling that this woman is about to do that to you to the point where you would open your condom and put hot sauce in it, I think that
Man,
that
man,
would
has
make
nothing to
sense.
do with a gut feeling. Spermicide doesn't is not a gut feeling.
Or why not use
Excuse me,
spermicide
hold
before
on,
you have
ma'am. See,
sex?
this is why. See, this is more women think like you. They really do. You
I think
want
they're
me?
both wrong. She was
Excuse me.
fucked up for that.
No, no.
She was
Excuse me.
very wrong. I said she was very wrong
But
for
you
that.
need to understand what I'm saying. But you're just as wrong in what you're saying, because what you're saying is you need to rely on your spidey sense to predict the possible future and then act accordingly. Ma'am, how about this? How about a world like this? In a world where she did something like that and she started screaming to the top of her lungs because she had hot sauce inside of her. How about a world like this? Let me use my Thanos powers. Snap my finger. How about a world like this? Drake dials 911. The
Mm-mm.
police show up. Female black police officers show up. She tells her side of the story. Drake tells his side of the story. They immediately slap her in handcuffs and take her to county for theft. They put her in jail, take a mugshot. She has to bond out, get a lawyer, or go before a court because Drake is suing her for emotional distress.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As he should.
Well,
Yeah,
my point
absolutely.
is, what do you think would happen in the world where that would happen? How many more women do you think would try something like that?
I don't feel that many more women after this incident. I don't think many more women would try that with him. But I do, like I said, I do agree that she is wrong and that he absolutely deserves to take her to court because that is not cool.
It's
That's
not.
not
It's not
cool
a
to make
fact that it's
somebody a
not just her
father.
being wrong.
What we just heard was more than a debate about hot sauce and celebrity drama. It was a reflection of where we are culturally when it comes to accountability between men and women. Let's be honest. In today's society, women are often granted the benefit of the doubt, while men are expected to carry the burden of proof. When a man like Drake takes extreme steps to protect himself, steps that seem absurd on the surface, it's not because he's paranoid. It's because the system doesn't protect him. So he has to protect himself, even if it means doing something unorthodox. And yet the first reaction is an outrage at the woman's attempt to commit reproductive theft. And, it's a critique of how he responded. That's the twisted logic we're dealing with. People say they're both wrong, but one person tried to commit a crime. The other reacted to avoid being victimized by it. That's not the same. Kevin's argument is clear, and it's one that more men need to embrace. Until there are legal consequences for this kind of behavior, it will continue. We don't get change by shrugging and saying, we both need to do better. We get change by naming the problem and correcting it. Imagine if a man tried to trap a woman into pregnancy. The outrage would be instant, and the legal consequences swift. But flip the genders, and suddenly it's a gray area. Even when the caller tried to acknowledge accountability, she kept retreating into the idea that both sides are equally wrong. That sounds fair on the surface, but fairness without context isn't fairness at all.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I am okay. How old are you?
I'm I'm 50. How am I? 52.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll be
cool.
53 in December 31st. Yes.
All right. So
hmm
what are we talking about? What do you got for me?
Okay, so you said more or less. I mean, fear strangers, no robbery. We do understand that, that attraction is based on how you look and getting what you want is based on how you look. However, I will say this. I agree with what you're saying. Um, My feeling is this: if a man is not interested in these so-called average women, why do they leave impregnate them? Why do they get themselves tied and leave their children with these women? I've seen it, and it's a
Hold
horrible
on, hold on, hold
situation.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. See, oh, how long have you been watching my program?
About 4 weeks.
Mhm. Over here, I deal strictly with facts, data, and statistics above anything else.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. So
Hmm.
you said if men don't want to marry these average women, why they
Yes.
get them pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's first start off with the fact that 54% of black men are single and childless.
Hmm.
So
And I guess that. Okay.
hold
Right.
on, hold
Okay.
on.
Okay.
54% of black men
Hmm.
have no children.
Hmm.
30% of black men are married. And the children that come out of that marriage are exempted from your statement.
That
Because
is
this
correct.
so that gives us 54 and 30. That's
Hmm.
84.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
means a full 80% of the children being made in the black community are being
Yes.
made by less than 20% of the men.
Hmm.
So my question,
Okay.
so to answer your question is why are women having children with men with multiple children who aren't married? And then women like you asking, why are the women picking them?
You got me there, Kevin. You got me
Goddamn right I
there.
did.
You got me there.
Because you came in with that
Okay.
same old talking point that men are leaving babies everywhere. And you should be
Well, no,
ashamed of
not
it. Ma'am,
no, no, not.
54% of black men are childless. So you can't, why are these men doing it? What men are doing what?
No, no, I wasn't making an accusation to that. Maybe that's how I misspoke, and I'm sorry about that
No, it
piece.
is an accusation.
Uh,
You said if these average men, if these men don't want these average women, then why are they leaving them with babies? That is an accusation that the black men are having sex with black women and leaving them with babies, and they're average. That's not supported by the facts.
okay, and I guess well, let me can I say this?
Go
I
ahead.
was piggybacking off a couple of things you said in some of your your
Hmm.
other things where you said that women who are raising black boys, they're doing it alone, and the boys are not getting the mentorship from the males that they need to become the kind of men that you're talking about and you're describing now, which I think that I is an asset to me as well. Because what you said, I've learned so much myself that having these women and leaving these children with these women, particularly male children,
No
they don't
one's
get what
leaving.
you're
No
giving
one,
now.
no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. See, no one's
Mm.
leaving children.
No, you don't think it because when you
Are
talk
they
about the
starting out
single,
married? Are these women starting out married?
no, they're not.
Then I don't want to have any more conversation. They are
Okay, so you're
choosing to.
dealing
Hold
based
on,
on
ma'am.
just
Hold on,
marriage.
ma'am. Hold on, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You're old
Okay.
enough to remember what the world was.
Absolutely, I do.
Then, damn it,
I
we're
missed
not
it.
supposed. Are
I
you
missed it.
supposed? Hold on, ma'am. Then you
Mhm.
know that if a woman has a child today with 33 forms of birth control, with single, it is not like it was when we were coming up. If a child
I
is
miss
born
it.
today, it's because a woman chose to bring it to term.
That
So
is
the better
correct.
question is why are these women who share your reflection
Mhm.
choosing to be single mothers? Choosing to be unwed? No, ma'am. It's a choice to be a single mother because
Correct.
you choose to get pregnant before you're married.
That's correct.
And we have all
I
the
guess.
statistics. We have all the
Yeah.
statistics, all the data, all of the predictive information of the outcome from children raised in single parent households. So, my question to you is why are these same women you're talking about choosing to be single mothers and put their family in that likely future?
I- I'm being transparent because this is what I'm trying to say in essence. We're taking advantage of you guys, and if men or boys are not taught that this is the type of manipulation and games that women play on them, this will constantly happen, and you'll have
You're
young
taking
boys
advantage
being
of
raised
who, man?
properly
But who are you taking advantage of?
of men who are not aware of a woman's need to,
Ma'am,
you
hold on.
know,
What? Okay, man, we've
yeah.
already. Okay, I'm talking about the 80% of children. Women are taking
Hmm.
advantage of what sector of men?
Okay, okay, all right. Average men.
No,
However,
no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
average
No,
men.
ma'am. No, no, ma'am. They're not
What?
average. They're not average, ma'am. The math: 100% of
Mm,
men, 54% single. Women aren't taking advantage of single and childless. So that's 5 out of 10, almost six, almost 5.5 out of 10 that women cannot take advantage of with childbirth. Right? Right?
if you put it that way, that's
That's
correct.
not if you put it that way. That's how it is. If you can't, if a
Okay,
man,
so
no, ma'am, no, no, I don't do, I do logic. 54
okay,
percent of men are single and childless. So by that fact, they cannot be taken advantage of when it comes to having children. True or false?
that is true.
Okay, so we move 54 out of 100 away. There's 46 left. 30 of those men are married. They can't be taken advantage of because their children are coming from a marriage. True or false?
That is true as well.
So there's only that so that 54 and that 30% is 84. That's over 80%. So there's 16 left. And the 16 left are producing 80% of the children. So in what you're saying is black women are taking advantage of 16% of men who are loose with their seed and making the lion's share of children in black America.
I am saying I have said that. Yes.
Well, then I think the problem ain't the men.
No, I
If the,
never said it was the men.
Well,
Mm-mm.
but why pick that 16% if they can be and why are they picking them? Because they will allow themselves to just have babies all over the place. And if you did something very simple, how many of those 16%, if you made marriage a requirement, would they still reproduce with? If you had to be
It
married before you could produce a child, would
would
women
be
still
lower.
be?
Be lower.
So I guess the point I want to kind of get into, man, is the problem is not with the men. The problem is black men are leaving kids everywhere. Women are choosing to have kids with a minority of black men, and
Okay,
there's a case that can be made that that's not the best majority. Are those 16%? Are they the Rhodes scholars and the movers and shakers and the leaders of industry?
no. Can I say something a little
Go ahead, go ahead,
unintelligent, but try to make
go
a
ahead.
point here? Um, what you're saying is correct there. However, say for instance, a woman is trying to get a high value man, and I'm going to athletics because my scope in life is very
You're going
is
to
not
athletics.
small. Yes, athletics and the guys that make it big income there. A lot of women, on NFL too as well. They go with those. They
Well,
meet
first
these
off, I need to
guys.
be
They
clear. I need to be
marry.
clear. I don't. I need to be clear. I don't consider those guys to be high value just because
Oh,
they make
okay.
money.
Oh, so we're not classifying them as high
Well,
value.
not automatically. Not automatically. High value is
Okay,
more than just money. But go ahead. I just need to make that
true.
distinction.
From a woman's perspective, then I will say it that way.
Go ahead.
And then the women are having babies, and these guys are having babies by multiple women, and it's becoming like a financial hustle. It's a financial hustle.
So, so,
Um,
so.
so so it goes back to what I was
No,
trying to say
ma'am.
about the
It
average
doesn't,
men.
ma'am. No, it doesn't, ma'am. How many men are in the NFL?
Not many.
Thank you. So why are we
Not
talking
many
about
when you
that?
talk about
So why are we
globally.
talking about
Yes.
that? That's not. I mean, that's not the majority of the men. That's not the majority of the situation. In this
But if you
situation,
say,
ma'am,
uh
you asked initially started with our community and asked why these children are being left fatherless because women are choosing to marry before they carry, and they're choosing to reproduce with men that they would not marry. What do we do if 80% of our children are being selected or being made by mothers who pick this way?
and at that point, I was kind of asking, is there responsibility on the side of the male to be about his seed to say, hey, if I'm going to play, I'm going to not leave that egg. I
Ma'am,
mean,
ma'am, no, it's no.
oh,
Look, you
no,
keep
you
trying to
don't
make
think
it
so?
no. But I'll tell you why not. Eighty
You
percent of
don't think of
children. Okay, listen.
hmm yes,
80% of children being made by 16% of the men.
right.
They
That
can
that's
only
not a
marry.
that.
Stop, ma'am.
Mhm. Yes.
They can only marry one woman.
I understand that,
So how much
but
you can't
but
put
all
that much responsibility on 16% of no, ma'am. Responsibility the responsibility comes back to women, and they're choosing to pick men to make reproduce with that aren't their husbands.
so Kevin, can I ask this question from a man's perspective though?
Go ahead.
If and I know we're talking about 60% of the population, and you're talking about the other 85,
I'm
84%.
talking about what matters. Yes.
Right, I got you. Um, why is it that the men wouldn't worry about who has their seed and raising their child? That's and in
What do you
particular
talk
if they
about? The
had
men
a
wouldn't.
boy
Which men? The 16% who making most of the kids?
child. Okay, can we talk about that for a second? Would you, lend me that
I don't.
latitude?
Okay. What are you asking? Why guys who are okay?
Wh-
Man,
wh- wh-
listen, listen,
Can
stop,
how can they go to
stop. No,
sleep at
no, no,
night?
man, because
Yeah,
that's ultimately, man,
yes,
do you have any children?
I do.
Are all your children by one man?
Yes,
Do you know women who have children by multiple men?
I do, and I see
Do
the
you
the boys
know that
suffer.
excuse me, do you think
Sorry,
these women under, women who have children by multiple men, but you chose to have all your kids by one man because it was a choice.
right.
Man,
No choice, right?
you cannot hope. If a man is reckless with his seed, do you not think women know that this man would? Do you not realize that there are women out there who just want babies and don't want to be married?
I do. I'm a social worker. I do.
Well, then, damn it, then how you gonna stop that? You stop, and you know how you fix this? Stop paying for them. Let them go make a baby, and then stop giving them any kind of aid. If you decide to go make babies with a man who's a serial impregnator, you live on what you can live
Hmm.
on.
Right.
But how does that
I
affect?
agree.
The bigger question is why are women making babies out of wedlock with men who are, like I said, there's only 16% of men responsible for the lion's share of kids. Even if that 16% of men became born again Christians and married their baby mama, they can't marry them all. In
We were
Memphis,
duped.
Memphis, what would you have? Three men who had 87 children. Do you not think
I
those
do remember
80?
on Ayana,
Well, do you not? Then those women knew about each other.
and they knew about it. They knew about
So
it.
where does the responsibility lie? With the man?
You know what, Kevin? I wish there were more men that say the stuff that you say because I will tell you, I was raised with a dad in the household. He was definitely me and my sister and my brother, no kids in the family. But this open conversation, I never had this. I wish I'd have had this. I'm going to give it
Man,
to
what
my
do you
girls.
mean? What do you mean more men to say what I say? 54% of our
Just
men are no, ma'am.
to tell the truth.
No, ma'am. Hold on, ma'am. No, no, no. See, that's where I push
To
back.
tell the truth about
No, ma'am.
life. I
Stop,
didn't know
stop, stop,
this.
stop, stop, stop.
Seriously, Kevin.
Can't overtalk me, lady. I just can't keep doing that. You act like I'm the first person that's been saying this. If 54% of black men are single and childless, these conversations have been happening my entire life. The problem ain't the conversation. The problem is who y'all ain't listening, doing what the hell you want to do, and then coming back and playing innocent. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah, you knew. You have to unmute yourself, but you were over talking me.
I didn't know.
Man,
I didn't know I was muted. Okay.
well, because I told you you were over talking me, and that won't work. But man, we're
Oh, I'm
about the
sorry.
same age. These
Yes.
conversations have been going. As long as I've been on the planet, men have been having these conversations. The problem is not the
Right.
conversation. The problem is the reality is that our women did what the hell they
Hmm.
wanted to. They did
Yeah.
what
We're
they
not
wanted
happy.
to. They
Yeah.
were talking to me, and now the
Yeah.
chickens have come home to roost. They thought I don't need no man. I'm strong, independent, blah blah blah. And now at 40 plus years old, the dynamics have changed.
You ain't never told a lie on that one. I'm not going to disagree with that. I thought I had the lifetime.
Well, so
I
men
thought
have,
I had a lifetime. Never
like it or
did.
not, men have had to suffer this shit. And now, I mean, Brittany, go ahead and unmute
It,
yourself.
it,
What we just heard was a conversation between a woman looking for answers and a man holding the line on truth. Kevin didn't insult her. He didn't belittle her. He held her accountable to the numbers, to the facts, and forced the conversation to stay where it belongs. In reality, the truth is, too many people want to escape responsibility by rewriting the narrative. They point fingers, they deflect, but the data doesn't change. 54% of Black men are childless, 30% are married. That leaves 16% responsible for the majority of births. So the real question isn't, why are men leaving? It's, why are women choosing them? At some point, we have to accept that freedom means owning the outcome of our choices. No one's forcing anyone to become a single parent. No one's forcing anyone to get pregnant by someone they wouldn't marry. And when we shift the blame to men while ignoring women's decisions, we lose the power to change anything. There's nothing empowering about making the same mistakes and expecting someone else to clean them up. And the longer we ignore that, the worse the outcomes get for the children, for the community, and for the future. Kevin's point was never about shame, it was about accountability. And if we want better men, better fathers, and better families, then women have to stop choosing men who show no signs of leadership, stability, or discipline. The facts are on the table. The question is, will anyone listen? If you found value in today's discussion, hit the like button. It helps more people find the truth. Subscribe to the channel for more real conversations that challenge the noise and bring clarity. And if you never want to miss an upload, tap the bell so you're notified the moment it drops. This isn't entertainment. It's elevation. Stay focused, stay disciplined. Stoic Context, out.